with Chef Randy for a rib lesson, as well as his favorite rib recipe. Yes, he is sharing it with us today. First, we need to know which ribs to buy or which to go for. What do you like the best?
I like all ribs is the problem, so it's really hard to choose. I mean, like, other than maybe a rack of rabbit that gets a little tiny.
Right.
But like lamb ribs are delicious in their own way.
Yeah.
Pork ribs, beef ribs, and like I think a lot of people don't really necessarily understand the difference between a back rib and a side rib.
Okay.
The easiest way is like when they say living high in the hog, it means you're getting up higher in the creature. That's a better cut. So that would be the back rib. That's right off the back of the spine. Oh. And you can tell there's a little bit more meat on there, a little less fat, it's a little bit leaner. The bones are a little thinner, so whenever you're shopping for them, you can tell the bones are a bit thinner. Yeah. But then the side rib, it comes along, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, look at you. You're pretty good looking too, right? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know who to choose. Because you've got larger bones, which means more flavor. You've got more marbling, which means more flavor. You've got more fat, and it's like, oh my gosh. So like, I'm gonna go with the side rib. Yeah, because you know it depends on how you prepare them and things like that. But this is just an easier, foolproof method because of the fat. Okay. So you really have a hard time drying that rib out.
Got it. So it's a lot of fat to keep it really tender.
You got it. And then you get that ultimately that fall off the bone kind of feeling.
Okay, we love that.
And then if you want to take your rib game to the next level, beef ribs.
They're better.
Well, I mean,
in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's something that you can do at home that people don't get all the time. Yeah. Because you can go anywhere and get like a pork rib, but you get a beef rib that's been smoked for 10 hours and it's fallen off the bone. You're like, what just happened? I got to go back to his place. How do I get an invite? Okay. So this is actually a back rib. So I'm kind of like exactly what I said earlier with the pork. I'm actually taking that away and erasing it because the beef ribs on the side rib are actually too fatty.
The beef side rib are too fatty.
I can't believe I actually said that out loud. I know, it's unbelievable. It shouldn't be said, but it's true. So we actually use the back rib, not the side rib. Okay. So because there's a little bit more meat, there's more marbling, and preparation's super simple. You get a barbecue rub. Yeah. This is a custom-made one that we do at the restaurant. It's
What's in
fantastic. Good stuff.
Is it a secret?
No, there's like some cayenne, some garlic, some onion, you know, that kind of stuff. But you can mix your own. And there's 1,000 different recipes, right? Totally out there that you can do. And then all I did was spray some red wine on there.
But look at how he sprayed it. Don't just glance over that. He put the spritzer.
No, it's a bottle of red wine.
On the top of the wine bottle.
Because you know, that's a hack. You might just, you know, need to do this once in a while. Because barbecuing takes a long time. Right. And then as it's smoking, what I like to do is I just like kind of spray it. Yes. And then I just spray it. And it's like, you know, the dog's misbehaving, you spray it. It's like, it's a very fun time around the house.
So you put the rub in, you did a little spritz with the wine.
Correct. And then we go into the Traeger, which we talked about earlier. This thing is magical. So basically you just download the recipe, you press a button, it fires up. Okay. And so 10 hours later, it'll tell you it's done.
Amazing.
Right? And you're sitting in your living room. You kind of spritz it and you do your thing, right? But first, before we get there, we got to think about what we're pairing it with. Yes. And normally with barbecue guys are kind of big guys and they want to go heavy, like baked potatoes and so I thought we'd do something lighter today, so we could kind of like balance the fat with the light. So we did a Boston bib salad. Nice. Right? So we did some apple, some brie, some radish, some heavy cucumbers, and then what I did here with some red onions is I just put them on the smoker for like 10 minutes. And then I hit them with some lime juice. And the lime juice just kind of pops this flavor out and pops that color out. And it really just makes it kind of like stand off and you're like, whoa, what was going on there? Are you putting them on the smoker whole? I sliced them a little bit. You sliced them a little bit. Just to get a little bit of heat through them. But look at that. Like, it's just kind of like this cool looking thing. Because that's a trick I know people will want to try. Oh, people want to try that, right? Simplest thing, it takes a couple minutes, right? And then you just hit it with some lime juice and the acidity pops out that color. And then to lighten it real up, we get some mint. We throw it down there like this. Now we're getting somewhere, right? That's very nice. So we're starting to get a little bit hungry. Now, to keep in our barbecue theme, we've got barbecue sauce. Yes. Right? And I don't know, I love barbecue sauce. So do I. Yeah, and everyone has some of it in their fridge. Yes. This is like, you know, you make the homemade stuff or you can get the fridge. But what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to cut that barbecue sauce with a little bit of olive oil. Okay. Let's say like almost 1 to 1. And then, so that's a little bit. And then some lime juice, right? Yeah. So some acidity there, right? And then we're just going to, you want to just stir that up for me, Tracy? So it's a perfect thing that you're making even more perfect. Well, it's got this sweet, you know, it's got the smoke, it's got all that. And then by that time, our ribs are finally ready. Are you ready for this, everyone? So we're talking, after 10 hours, you can kind of see the shrinkage. right?
Oh my gosh.
You got the red wine's kind of burned in there. But you know they're done. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You know they're done when you can,
yeah, fall off the bone. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's perfection.
Right? You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I mean, like, you could use a knife to cut this, or you could just take the bone and you could just kind of like do this, right? It just kind of falls
apart. Look at that. The dog doesn't even want that bone. There's nothing on it.
No, the dog, I'm going to hang that around my neck when I'm done. Come on. So then, you can see the smoke ring, because it's been on the Traeger, it's just basically fallen apart.
Lovely.
And the smoke is in there, and the rub is in there, a little bit of red wine. And then you're just basically going to chop this up. And this is just like these morsels of kind of salt and smoke and deliciousness.
Any tip for the cutting up of the beef?
You can be really like, just go. Kind of go against the grain the first time.
Throw it on the salad.
But even if you don't, this is so fall apart. This is what we call meat pudding. Right? This is exactly what we call meat pudding. So we dash that on top of that salad. Oh my stars. And then we take a spoon, right? And then it's just like, what is up, Buttercup? Right.
That's how you do a barbecue.
That's how you do a barbecue, right there.
Wow. That is good stuff. That's a good party. I'm coming to your barbecue. Okay? City, you made me pick up tongs. I got so excited.